I can't see. You have to turn the light on.
In there.
No. Hey, we're late as hell.
But we don't give a hell. Hey,
we're late as hell.
Hey, we don't give a hell.
Hey,
I just want to say, we all want to have a relationship. We all think he's an asshole.
Did you get that okay?
Well, did you call me and ask me to joke about the most important part? Orange you now?
Knock, knock. Orange.
What you playing? Orange.
I didn't say orange. Knock, knock. No! Go away! Knock, knock.
knock, knock. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Hey, knock, knock.
It's like a combination of bullshit. Okay. You bullshit is what they say in French. And I think what they did was, the idea was, what we're going to do is pack these motherfuckers in a building. Okay? We're going to have them sit the fuck down. And we're going to have some bullshit come on the stage. Do y'all feel what I'm saying? Nothing but bullshit. And I feel in my heart of hearts, I feel like, hey, I might just go in. Beat the shit out of you. I feel that in my spirit. I feel my ass tripping in my heart. No. I just want to know. Stop it. You have anything to say?
Yeah, I have something to say. I want to go to a motherfucking party.
I want to go too. Right now. I am starving.
She's hungry.
I'm starving and I'm sleepy.
No,
I'm trying to have a good attitude. Last year we were starving. You're feeling it this time. Beating the shit out of somebody, definitely. Okay. That's
I'm hot right now.
Kaylene, wait.
Hey, baby, you coming live, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what school this is,
You know what I'm saying?
but we about to get fucked up.
That's right.
Bro.
We repping Wilberforce University. It's Tarek Dixon right here. You know what I mean? Representing Jersey, holding down Queens, New York, East Coast out here.
And if you cross her,
we out here at the think tank, North Carolina Central, you know what I mean?
That's how we doing it. That's how we doing it. Beely in the building. That's
West Coast, yeah.
West Coast all day.
Mr. Gerald Wells.
Jay Wells and this boy.
DYT,
You know what I'm saying? Beely in this building. That's how we get down, homie. I'm a holler. That's mine.
What did you say?
What I do?
Oh, that was my call. That's why I said Gerald. Shout away. Mr. Diddy. Mr. Diddy. How you doing? Oh, yeah, me too, man.
We all hungry, man.
We all are.
Hey, but we just trying to get this food. You know, that's how we doing.
Yeah, you're hungry.
Wilberforce, Tennessee State in the house.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Here with the woman of God, Diva Andre. My chief of staff, Andre Fair Wilson, Tennessee State. How are you? You are
Carla.
She is
Uh-huh. Nice to meet you.
I just want to say she's absolutely gorgeous. I just wanted to let y'all know.
Keith, hello. How you doing?
It's the hard work, Delta chapter all day, every day.
Where's our bus? We're just walking. Do y'all know where we're walking to?
That bus ain't on this curb, so it don't
That's what I'm saying. I don't know why everyone's moving in that direction. They don't know.
Yo.
Person class president live.
You drunk?
Hey, is the bus like
Jesus
I mean, it's a little twisted.
Yeah, I drink all that.
That's how we
I still have mine.
had to handle that outside. Because I was getting that right now.
Give me on the fucking table. I'll tell you, man, this is bullshit. This bitch. I don't know what the fuck she was smoking. But next time, I would like to hit the shit so I can be a little bit more relaxed about life.
Katrine,
I don't know what the fuck you
he said this is a job that you co-op office gave her.
That was a good one.
Hey, her internship is the fucking man. She a man.
No, I tell you why I'm really mad. I said, Frank motherfucking Murphy, SGA president, could you please give her fucking directions, okay? What'd he say? Yeah, we got directions from yesterday. Why the fuck are we lost? I tell you why. Ask Frank why we lost. Zoom in on Frank and ask, right? Frank, why we lost?
Because I didn't sit up front.
It's his fault. Everybody be mad.
Mommy getting the hanger right there.
Then we have Frank with the fucking directions. And don't give them to this crazy bitch. I'm upset about it. Thank you.
Gerald Wells says that this is the job the co-op office gave her. It's her practicum.
Oh, I see.
No, I would just like to go on.
Mommy dears to get the hanger for you.
What you say? Follow directions.
Black History Month.
How you learn how to say it? How you learn how to
It might be nice. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a hot noise. Siobhan, come on. Come on. I know she's out there taking a... Look at Ebony taking a picture. Look at her taking...
Why you take a picture with? It's somebody over there.
Yeah. Maybe this was the Deltas before they changed or something. I gotta find Keith. You gotta take a picture.
Hi. You know, just chilling.
Keith throws up one more Kappa sign. I know he was gonna do it.
Living legend, you know what I'm saying?
I know he was gonna do
hard
it.
work, aka the show.
You said, okay. I knew you was gonna say that. That's why. That's why I turned the camera that way.
The camera flat. It's over there somewhere. You took a picture.
Hey! It's over there. Thanks, Autumn. Open mic. I already got Autumn.
Where's Richard? Right here.
Randy.
Little two girl. Don't leave out
Do it again, Terrence. Terrence, do it again.
Oh, she came back.
Do it again.
Came back too. Shouldn't have been here in the first place.
Marshmallow Man. You got anything to say?
Yeah, I want to say hi. I'm so happy to be here amongst my peers. You know what I mean? This is my last semester. I'm going to miss the woo, but I'm glad that we here. No, I never want to be a new. First and the finest, baby, 8506. You know, now that's my boy Keith right there. Congrats, you know what I'm saying? It's neophyte. We had some little technical difficulties. But I'm glad to be here, and you know, that's it. You know, I love you, man. Give me a hug. You're cute.
We gotta take you over to the little Greek thing they got over there.
When? Tomorrow, though, eh?
Good afternoon. My name is Frank Murphy, SGA president of the first and the finest private HBCU.
We were first to start this. Woo!
We bring you greetings from Ohio, and we say it's a pleasure to be surrounded by the rest of our HBCU family.
You better sit down. I ain't said nothing yet. I want that back in about 30 minutes.
Oh, 30 minutes?
I'm always humoring my people. I appreciate it. I'm serious now, but it's always funny to have people stand up before you say something. I've been a lot of places where I did that, and they didn't deserve it 30 minutes later. I hope not to be one of those persons today. I I hope that something we say today will cause you to think critically while you were gathered here today, as you continue your deliberations, and even after you have left this place. I hope something that we will say today will cause you to, again, to think critically about the very challenging and difficult issues that we face in the world that we live today. Let me first of all thank this wonderful Student Government Association on this host campus for having me here. I thank you for the invitation. I recognize when we come together for occasions like these in our community, we are fortunate to have any number of persons who have the wherewithal and the skill and the articulation and the insight to stand behind a podium such as this and to share with you in a critical and courageous sort of way. I'm always humbled when the invitation comes to appear somewhere. I want you to know that I don't take the invitation lightly, and I am honored and I am humbled by the invitation to be here today to talk to the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme, those who are now, as evidenced by your presence here today, and will for the coming weeks and months and years provide the kind of leadership that our community so desperately needs. The kind of leadership that our community so desperately needs. When I get a chance to talk to an audience such as this, which is rare, this is a rare opportunity. I speak around the country all the time, and obviously on the radio every day, and television, I'm talking to millions of people, and being viewed by millions of television viewers now every night back on television on PBS. And so I get a chance to do this on a regular basis, but this gathering is particularly and especially unique to me. And I said I'm honored and I'm humbled to be here because it is not often. As a matter of fact, I don't know that I've ever had the opportunity to talk to so many young, bright minds representing such breadth and diversity of HBCUs across this. On my own self, I got more credibility in my own worth and value than to stand in for somebody for a week, sit somewhere for a week when they don't really know what they're doing. I'm not feeling this. Make a long story short, I refused to do it. BET called, and they called, and they called, and they called. We really, really want Tavis to consider coming back here for a week to host this show. I said no, they called. I said no, they called. I said no, they called. It went on for a while. Finally, my agent said, Tavis, come on, man. It's just a week. You love D.C., you get a chance to go to the nation's capital. The show is only a half an hour. You go to work at 11 o'clock at night. You do the show for a half an hour. You got all day, the rest of the night to hang out with your friends. Give a round of applause to your president, Dr. Adams. Nice to see you, sir. You got the whole rest of the day and all night to do what you want to do, hanging out with your friends in D.C. And they're going to pay for everything. And they're going to give you a nice check at the end of the week for the work you did. You ain't doing it for free. So I thought about it. I said, maybe it's not such a bad idea to go do this show for BET for a week and see what's going to happen. All right. So I told her, all right, I'll go do it. She said, good. She called BET back and said, okay, Tavis, Mr. Smiley says, you'll come back there for a week and you'll do your show. They negotiate all the terms of the money and the air travel and the hotel and the car service. They got all that negotiated. Everything was done. She calls me back and said, we got the deal done, but they had one question. I said, what? She said, what week do you want to do it? I said, well, what's available? She said, well, they've been talking to folk, but nobody wants to take the first week. Now, she knew me. I said, well, if I'm going to do it, I'm all that. I ain't afraid to put my stuff up against nobody on that list or any other list. Come with it, bring it on. So I said, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go first. Now, you know the rest of the story, don't you? I went to D.C., I did the show for a week. I flew back at the end of the week. I'll never forget it. I stayed, the show was Monday through Friday. I stayed for the weekend, hang out with my boys. On Sunday, I flew back to L.A. I landed back in L.A. about 4:30 on Sunday afternoon. And the minute I landed, I checked my voicemail. My agents called me 25 times. BET has called and said, can Tavis come back to D.C. and do the show for another week? We're still trying to work some things out. Can he come back for another week? Well, the first week, the ratings were huge. I didn't know this because they weren't giving no ratings information. They wanted me to come back for another week. I did that. For the next 12 weeks, I kept going back to D.C. to host this TV show. And they fired me, but I've been there for 5 years by the time that happened. 5 years. I built me a bunch of houses, bought me a bunch of cars, bought me a bunch of commercial buildings, a bunch of real estate, built my mama a house, built my brothers and sisters' houses. All that money off of 5 years and became a household name in Black America. Why? Not because I was necessarily the best, but because I showed up first. I showed up, and that's how I turned into a TV show for 5 years. It's the brightest we have to offer. I want you to understand at the end of the day, when all has been said and done, the bottom line is this. In 2 words, 2 very simple words, with regard to your leadership and the question of why you and why here and why now and why these issues, why? In 2 words, because you owe. O-W-E. You owe. You owe. You owe those slaves. You owe those Africans who never made it here to be slaves, who rest on the bottom of an ocean. You owe Mary McLeod the film. You owe Rosa Parks. You owe Whitney Young. You owe Jackie Robinson. You owe, the list goes on and on and on. You owe the countless names and faces of folk who sacrificed not so that we could take advantage of access and opportunity, but to do something with it to make Black America better. When we make Black America better, we make all of America better. Dr. King put it like this. Cowardice asked, is it safe? Expediency asked, is it politic? Vanity asked, is it popular? But conscience asked, is it right? Every now and then, brothers and sisters, you are going to have to take positions that are neither comfortable, nor safe, nor politic, nor convenient. But you do it because your conscience tells you that it's right. There's no gospel song I love that says, I'm pressing on the upward way. New heights I'm gaining every day. Still praying as I'm onward bound, Lord, plant my feet on a higher ground. The verse says, my heart has no desire to stay where doubts arise and fears dismay. Though some may dwell where these abound, my prayer, my aim is higher ground. Speaking of gospel songs, we are soldiers in the army. We have to fight, although we have to cry. We got to hold up the blood-stained banner. We got to hold it up until we die. Benjamin Elijah Mays out of Morehouse put it like this. The tragedy of life, speaking of HBCUs and the leadership that we've offered the country, therefrom, the tragedy of life does not lie in not reaching your goal. The tragedy lies in having no goal to reach. It's not a calamity to die with dreams unfulfilled, but it is a calamity not to dream. It is not a disaster to not be able to capture your ideals, but it is a disaster to have no ideals captured. It is not a disgrace to not be able to reach all the stars, but it is a disgrace to have no stars to reach for. Not failure, but low aim is sin. What gets most of us most of the time, don't let it catch you. What gets most of us, brothers and sisters, is not that we fail, but that our aim is too low. You see, as long as you black up in here, realize the game was never designed for you to win in the first place. So as long as you black up in here, you're going to have some failures. It ain't whether or not you fail, it ain't about getting knocked down, it's about getting back up. If I walk off this stage right now and walk over you right now and knock you on your behind, and came back in here 2 weeks later, and you were still laying here, knocking you on your behind is on me, but not getting back up is on you. So it's not the failure, it's the low aim. It's getting back up. It ain't that you failed the test when you're gonna take it again. It's not that I aim, it's not that we fail, it's that I aim is too low. Life for us It's like a heart monitor. Heart monitor. You all seen the ER? Heart monitor. Up and down and up and down and up and down. That's what life is like for us. And for any person, quite frankly, who's a leader, black, white, or otherwise. Up and down. That's all good. Up and down is a part of the process. What you're trying to avoid is that sucker flat line on you. Ups and downs are part of the process. And you can't enjoy success anyway unless you've had some failure. Why? Because it ain't just about content. It's about context. The final analysis, being a leader. Being a leader is how can I put this? Being a leader is like flying on an airplane, which I have to go do here in just a few minutes. You've all heard the announcement. Every time you get on a plane, you hear it.
And I left Lincoln University and moved to Alabama. Alabama State University. Okay, Alabama State University is in Montgomery, the capital. Believe me, friends, that was a tremendous experience because I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and moving to Montgomery, Alabama was basically cultural shock. But I adjusted. Okay, I left Montgomery and migrated to Atlanta, Georgia. I had a ball. I loved Atlanta. I was there approximately 8 months. And I had an opportunity to work in radio and television. I was announcing the SIAC basketball games, and that was just a tremendous experience. But I left there, and then, my friends, you talk about leadership. When I was hired, the board of directors said to me, "We want a leader." Okay, we want a leader. And so my challenge to you is. You say in your mindset that you are going to be leaders. So I want you to think about that for a few moments, and I'm going to turn it over to my colleague. I'm going to be back because I've got a challenge for you.
Well, I think basically we kind of want to know what you would like to get out of this session. It's important for, if you come in here with a standard, or if you come in here with, we want to get something out of this, and we want to know exactly what it is that you want to get out of this in this next 30 to 45 minutes, that we can probably answer, because there's no need for us to stand here and continue to talk and keep asleep to continue.
University.
Excuse me?
I attend Wilberforce University, and I think the hardest problem is trying to connect to the peers on like a real level, because not everybody is the same person. They don't have the same mentality as others as far as what they want to do in their life and things like that.
So what's connecting to peers on a real level? I mean, when you say real level, exactly what do you mean?
I mean, some people it's easier to get to, and it's something you have to just really put forth to. That's what I mean, to connect with.
Does anyone else feel that way? That you can't connect with other students? Well, she's not really asking a question. She thinks the biggest challenge on your different campuses is because certain student leaders don't know how to connect with students that aren't student leaders. Connecting with those different individuals. And I've written that down, and we'll definitely address that. Yes.
Please.
I would say connecting with our connecting is so much trying to show the importance of the event that you put on and relating that to other students. Like, as student government leaders, we're excited about the events that we put on, put a lot of hard work into it. Therefore, we would think that other people would feed off of that energy, yet that's not what happens all the time. And for me, that's what I mean. That's what I think of not being able to connect, not being able to relate the importance of the various events that are put on.
I think that one major problem that faces our campus would be being a leader without an official position or title. And I think a lot of us don't know how to be leaders without
what we first must do is, as Arian was saying, we need to define leadership. And of course, we can all define leadership in different ways. And my personal definition of leadership would be, as she said, just someone that is motivated within themselves, someone that knows that I define. Yeah, his question was how close should he keep his friends or these individuals? And I think and I'm going to let, of course, Floyd expound upon this, but as we move into different sectors in life, we need to know who are friends and who are not friends. And my mother always told me birds of a feather flock together. And so I think that it's important that although we want to target these people, you can't touch everyone. Everyone can't be motivated. Just like when we leave here today, I might touch you, but you are going to have to help me touch the masses and reach the masses as you go back to Lincoln University, as when you move to Atlanta, or when you move to Durham, when you go to New York, you're going to have to help us reach the masses. And I think that that's important. You have to lead by example, like someone said. It's important for me when I was a student at Winston-Salem State. I mean, I was involved, I was very involved, but, I was successful because I said I was successful. And then, of course, if I say that I'm successful, then other people will begin to feel my success and feel my motivation and feel who and what I am.
And I'm going to piggyback on that. As you stated, my friend, as my colleague has stated, it's about leading by example. My take is what you see on my lapel, all right? Which is attitude. I got a tremendous attitude. Positive.
Like, I know kind of where you're coming from, because I got friends that still do silly stuff too, but you don't keep them so far. Because, as you grow into a person, if they're going to be with you, they're really your friends, and they'll grow too. But if not, man, sometimes, you grow apart from that, because you're trying to be successful in that mind, and if they're not, then they're not really your friends.
And I think one thing that we must address, not even here, but in our everyday life, is a lot of our youth, and I'm not sure about our college students, but a lot of our youth, we seem to define ourselves by the people in which we hang out with. And if those, Jesse Jackson said, tears will get you sympathy, but sweat will get you change. But how do we become motivated and stay motivated to exercise that change, not just on our college campuses, but in Black America?
First of all, to answer the question, how do you stay motivated? How do you stay motivated? I mean, self-motivation, like Kathy just said, it doesn't come from love first, but when you're with people. It doesn't find yourself first. Even I can't give you if you don't already have. If you don't already have the love in your heart to be motivated for what you're doing for your purpose that you're doing there. There's nothing that I can say to be motivated. Second of all, I want to comment on the young man's question. I want to tell you the same church, because the Bible teaches us that you plant a seed, and someone else gives the increase. And that will be the salt of the earth. So if you are the salt and
of the bomb. Anybody answer that? No, when I say think out of the box, I mean, we simply mean, you don't think, you think bigger. How do we help people think bigger than who and what they are at their current state? How do we help people think bigger? Because thinking inside your box is saying, I'm a sophomore in college. I'm a senior in college. That's thinking inside your box. Thinking outside of your box is saying that I will be a communications officer at the oldest and largest African American life insurance in the country. That's how I thought outside of my box.
Firstly, a lot of times we have to realize ourselves. A lot of us have been blessed to have been exposed to a lot. Some of our members have exposed us to different things, and our friends may have not had those same opportunities. Do not be afraid to invite them to come along and share in your experiences, because you can show them, what's going on in your life. Help them gain the same experiences that you gain, because they may not have someone there, or they may not know they have someone there to show them these things. And just like you said, show them these resources. But when they say we have to lead by example, be a consistent friend by even though we have to maintain ourselves and focus on what we're doing, but be consistent in helping them and help motivate them to keep moving towards their goals. And also realize for ourselves that you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make them drink. You can only show them that there is an outside of the box. You can't move them outside of your own box. Hello, my name is Karen Dixon. I'm from Wilberforce University, Wilberforce, Ohio. What I want to say is, my personal example is about influencing your friends and things like that for success. I decided to come back to school full time after I got in my mid 20s, and I left a lot of things home, and I left one of the things I left home was one of my girlfriends, one of my best girlfriends, and I never beat her in the head, about the fact that I was going to college. And I think that sometimes you just shouldn't say anything. You should just go for it, and you should lead by example. And just from time to time call your friends and see how they're doing and what's going on with them, and tell them of your successes. Because now she called me over Christmas, and she's telling me how she's enrolling in school now and how she's going to continue her education until she's done. And I'm more of a silent person. I don't try to put people in their head with my success or what I'm doing in school and how I'm successful. I show it and I prove it. When I come home and they see how I'm changing day by day and how I turn into how I can talk to people better than I did before I was there, because I was there partying, I was doing my thing, and I decided that I was going to turn my life around and go to school and get educated. And they're seeing that change, and that's one way that you can show your peers at home that want to stay and they want to straddle and want to sit on the corner. You show them your successes by proof. You can talk to somebody all day, but when you prove to them, they can physically see that you're really changing. That could be the most powerful way of, showing them that there is a better way. And that's all I have to say.
So after we define, I guess what our own success is, and we talked about targeting your
primary functions should not be throwing activities in the program, because if that is your primary function, then what are you doing about finding connections? What are you doing about solving problems? What are you doing about everything else? Yes, we have activities. Yes, it's a function. And on my yard, yes, we do, because that's how we do our first. But primary.
1 and 2 and 3. I didn't know you did that. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying, 9 to 5 in the morning, you know what I'm saying, they got power. It is the same thing. But as a student and as a young adult, I'm looking at my peers, and they're seeing me in a different light. And it's a shock. A level. I understand that. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Explain.
Anyway, I did change, and most of my friends saw it, and they brought me down real quick. So I'm just saying that as a testimony and a sort of don't do it type of thing.
Cockiness and conceitedness are two common terms affiliated with leadership for some reason.
Well, confidence, not cocky. I can understand confidence, but cocky is that's cocky.
I say that's called for speculation because, you know, if it's me, you know what I'm saying I'm confident to you, it's cockiness because we don't have it. So, yeah. I'm not cocky. I'm doing what I'm doing because you're not in the position to be like that.
I know.
Let's see. And the advisor in the back has something to say.
No, I was just going to define what a commuter student is. A commuter student is a student that does not live on campus. It does not necessarily mean that they are native New Orleans. It means that they do not live on campus.
Have you ever thought about... Something to do with credit. Mortgages and things like that.
You know,
I was over here like,
Picture.
have a convulsion.
I ain't never scared. I'm never scared.
Baby. Come on, baby. Everybody get close, baby. MX. You want to see my stripper dance? See.
Look at Diddy.
Everybody
Up there, the B-boy stand.
doing my stripper dance for them. Yeah. That's my stripper dance. Oh, wait. I smile while I do my stripper dance. 1856. Shit.
Oh, yeah.
They all went home.
Yeah.
Oh, Ray go home.
Ray.
The bus came back and got her.
I'm a sophomore here at North Carolina Central University, and I'm majoring in social work. Today's workshop is entitled, It is the Best of Times, It is the Worst of Times. The Future of Greek Life, Black Fraternity, and Sorority at the Crossroads. Today our panelists include Mr. Andre Van, who is the interim assistant dean of students and director of Greek Life in the Division of Student Affairs here at North Carolina Central University. Also, we have members of the National Panhellenic Council. So with all that said, I'll let them have it.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. Well, I'll keep my seat on. Did everyone see the first one? Yeah. All right. And certainly I hope everyone can hear. We have a little mixed up, but we got it worked out, and glad to have you all here. If no one else has done so, let me thoroughly welcome you to the Smoking Hills and Verdict Green advisors of organization. Okay, very good. Now, and again, the advisors as well, we want you to certainly, when the opportunity comes in, chime in, offer that warmth and great input, because that's what we really need. The topic is, it is the best of times, it is the worst of times, Greek life, black fraternities and sororities at the crossroads. Yes, I would say certainly we are indeed at the crossroads in terms of the very existence, first of all, of fraternities and sororities on the campus, first of all. And secondly, to take a look and examine the idea of the survival of these chapters and undergraduate chapters on the campus. And so certainly I'm sure the same discussions and issues that come up here on this campus are very much on the minds of persons on other campuses. So with that being said, I'll introduce first, starting on my right and to your left, Ms. Trish Hardy, who represents, and matter of fact, why not let you all tell us something about yourself? Just tell your name, organization, major, and what you plan on doing.
I am Trish J. Hardy. I'm representing Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, as well as the lovely ladies of the Alpha Chi chapter. I am a senior, graduating May 1st, 2004, graduating with a BA in Political Science and English, and I plan to let them all do at graduation.
I'm Paulette Spence. I'm the president of the Alpha chapter of Delta City Stadium. I'm a history education major. I'm also graduating in the spring of 2004. I want to teach for 4 years, and I plan to go to Georgetown for law school.
Good afternoon. My name is Gregory McDowell, and I'm representing Alpha Phi Alpha.
I think right before we left and moved over, we had persons that just began the process of introducing themselves, so I'll offer them the opportunity as well. So you may pick up where you left off. And you may want to either speak loudly and clearly or... Okay, all right. We'll try to start over. And as we do in America, left to right, so we'll start there on the end.